I don't know now. This is our 48th one this year. So
Uh-uh.
we have about four to go before this weekly Saturday Zoom meetings will expire. So I
Hmm.
hope we make the best use of the next 4 weeks and
True.
have what one or two things we learn add to our Christmas celebration and New Year celebrations. So today we are looking at the subject, practicing the awareness of who you are being. Practicing the awareness of who you are being. So one of the things I've learned from Steve Chandler is that sometimes we can amass a huge dose of knowledge, but we have not been able to deploy the knowledge. There is a management and MBA article, or is it, I can't remember. No, it's not a course. And I think it came from an author who wrote no, it's not a book. Let me see, who do I need to meet here? Okay. So I think, okay, there is a book called The Knowing Doing Gap. The Knowing Doing Gap. Can't remember whether it was MBA. I first came across it. So sometimes you know some things as a CEO, as a manager, but for whatever kind of constraints you have not been able to deploy what you know. You might be an HRO manager, you've just come from a conference on so and so persons to get rid of, but you get back to your office, the process of even getting rid of an ant has not been embedded in you, and you let the system fester. So the whole idea of practice, which Steve Chandler refers to as the secret weapon. And that audio I got it from the collection of those CDs, $700. I had to compel myself to get those CDs last year when I really knew that I needed to push my brain to get out of the rut that it was. When I say rut, I mean, I needed to close the knowing doing gap. Now, whether I will close it till I die totally, I don't know. But I think I am more and more every day, I'm getting to see that some of the things I know, I am I'm doing the doing. So it's not enough for me to read an article on networking and I take a vow that I'll be going for more networking events and I still don't go, so that knowledge will not profit me. So so about our 48th class, and we've done a lot, we've covered a lot in the last number of this thing. So we want to just see how that we want to put doing, we want to put the awareness of being. So I'm going to leave the floor open and for us to just say what some of the things that are running in our background, some of the things we are thinking about today's topic. I mean, what has occurred for you in the last 1 week or in all of in the last 11 months, for those of us who have been here since January, what has stood out for you and so we're looking at practicing the awareness of being, and we want to deploy Steve Chandler's secret weapon. And that secret weapon is not something found in the moon. The secret weapon is just doing some of the things that we have been talking about here. So the floor is open and you are free to speak on any subject, ask a question, raise anything that you want to raise. We are still processing it.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Janice.
I want to just first of all thank you. Like some people call you our coach because you're indeed our coach. Mr. Tunde Pekrele, I want to really thank you so much for the classes thus far. For me, it's been a life changing class every Saturday coming in, self-awareness, I'm now really, when I begin to feel any emotions, especially strong emotions, I'm able to pause and try to analyze it. Where is it coming from? Why am I feeling these emotions? And I'm able to link it. And that practice has helped me. And with what we've been taught in this class, it has helped me be able to dissociate myself from the emotions. Because from the class, I've got to know that one, it's our interpretations that makes us act the way we act. And that interpretation comes from our context. And that context, that is our being. It's our belief, the things we have believed, the things we have grown with all our life. So for example, something is annoying you and you just think it's right. You find out that why that thing is annoying me is because of a belief I hold, and I feel that person is doing the wrong thing. So I've been able to tell myself that what I think is right, it's from the perspective I'm looking at it. And from this class, I've been able to learn to expand my perspective. When we talked about the number 6 rule, don't take yourself so seriously. Humor, increasing the perspective. So I've come to like just tell myself that it's the perspective I'm looking at it, and I now know how to learn to embrace other people's perspective. One of the things it has really helped me with this class is one, I don't get angry for unnecessary things before. I've come to find out that so many times I've been angry is because I felt I was right and there was really no right or wrong. It was my perspective. It was my interpretation that made me feel that I was right. Now that I know that, I allow people be who they are, even when my opinions differs. I don't get angry about it again. Yes, sometimes I get caught and I get angry and I tell myself, where is this coming from? I say, oh, it's because I feel the person is wrong. I feel the person is wrong. But there's really no wrong or right. It's my perspective and it's their perspective. Why am I getting angry about it? And more recently, I've come to find out that it's when I cling to that truth I feel is my truth. That's when the emotions are strong. As soon as I tell myself that, oh, I give up the right of being right, I find out that the emotions just disappear. And from this class, I've come to find out that our emotions are strongly, from practicing this, I found out that my emotions are strongly linked to my thoughts, to my interpretation. Since I've started practicing not interpreting, those strong emotions I used to get, they have gone. I've learned so many things for this class, and I'm just going to stop here for other people to share. And I want to say thank you again, Coach.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Janice. So the floor is open, and I keep repeating it. Number one thing I learned when I was doing MBA, adult education takes place when you talk in class, not when you are quiet, not when you listen. So who wants to follow up on that? Or you want to ask Janice a question from what she said? Or you want to, maybe you disagree with something, depending on when you started joining this class. The floor is open. About thinking of what to say. Say it, make a mistake.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Harold.
And good morning, everybody. Yeah, this article it really hit the nail on the head. And thank you, coach, for bringing it up. You see, um, the cost of being uncomfortable. You know, that is challenging us to face our fears. You see, really, most of us are like me. There are some things you know you know what to do. You've read about what to do in order to launch forward, but there's that fear that is holding you. Yeah, and I looked at this thing, and it is really very true, very very true. You know, and I think it is challenging us to face our fears. To face what is it that's worrying you. There was a time when I asked, just Google what are the 5 things I should do. To get somebody to create a digital income, a digital income, while I same time keeping your job. And what did they say that I should go on Reels, go on Instagram, do like if even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes daily TikTok, to create awareness and maybe get people to come in. I was okay, that is fine, but to do that thing, is say like go and do all these things. Then my work people will see me doing all this, and they will come say, "Look, you're not supposed to be doing side hustle." So those type of things, you look at it and you say, "Okay, it is trying to get out of your comfort zone, to go into the public space and maybe to sell or approach people. You not talk of fear of rejection and those things. So these are fear of rejection. Although the person say no, what will you feel? So when you look at all those fears, you won't want to do it. But those are the things that will sort of that should take you to the next level. And the same thing happened to the guy who, for 20 years, he's following only one coach, and getting only one sort of ideas without actually expanding and get more knowledge or expand and get other people, to follow ideas that will help him, scale business. So the fear of scaling, I think is there with everybody, and I think it's psychological. When we are used to don't do this or don't do that, no, don't do this, don't do that. So you are not really encouraged as children to dabble in and play with something. They say no, don't do this, don't do that, don't. So you keep on at the back of you want to do this, some people say I know, don't do it, or it will happen if you do it. So it's really very good. So I really welcome the one you talked about, how to challenge your fears, how to face your fears, how to do that, uh, which you try not to do. I remember when I was in Iraq and I was in Manowar, the C school, they said we should go, and they tried to encourage us to face obstacles. You've gone to NYC camp, there is assault courses that you hold the rope and you try to scale the rope and all those things. So while in school, they try to help us to face those things. Try to go through the they call them assault courses. You have this rope, you only one rope like this, and you are stretching, and then there's a tiny thing, and you're looking at fear of falling, but you still have to hold on to it. And they will start singing, obstacles can save Emmanuel, obstacles can save. So they say obstacles can save you, obstacles can save you. That is what they try to do it. And they actually tried to make us go through some things. And one of the ones that I really it scared me was to dive in. There's this boat. They took us to the sea school. This abandoned ship. When we are going, so when we get to that place, instead of jumping, they go get out. Really face our fears. We're coming to a business like this, emotional and business challenge, is something else that one has to, emotional fear and all those things. So it's really very encouraging, and I really want to see, how Chandler, encourage us to take that baby step. But it's really a very good article, and it has really brought out that things, those 5 pillars that I wrote that I should do. Coming to do it, try doing it, try doing the reels. I think one should take the next step and do all those things. It's really very good. Thank you for bringing this article.
Okay, thank you very much. Harriet, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
One of the main things that I have picked up so far, one of them, there are many other things, is this whole thing of filters. That, it is the filters that we set that delivers, the results that we are seeing. Is very key. And it's from here from these our classes that I have, learned that. And we use, the example we used was that dating app. That if you say you only want, you have picked, say maybe it's only white men that you want to see. Those are the only things that will be dropping into your filters. And that's how it is in all aspects of our lives. You understand? So if we really want, better things, then we need to reset our filters, because that is the context from which what we'll be receiving will come to us. So the filter part is, because we are the ones that create, whatever we are seeing. They say we are gods. So if, according to the Bible too, we are gods, we can do, we've been given the power. So if we want happiness, then we need to change our filters. If it's a situation whereby you get into your workplace, you are sad because of, the preconceived thought you have about some kind of people, you have a choice to change the filter so you can regain your happiness. You understand? You begin to see things in a different way, because we have all learned that what we think is there is not really there. Is the interpretation we have given to it. It doesn't really exist. You understand? It's how we have seen it. It's the way we want to take it. That is how it starts replaying to us. So thank you very much, sir. The filters is very important in our lives. It's one of the key things that this whole program have delivered to me. We create what we are experiencing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so is there anybody that wants to say something to that? I like hearing people and not hearing my own voice all the time. So Janice was talking about that right or wrong really isn't out there. And Harold laid further groundwork. And Harriet went on to talk about how we create our filters, like when we use the dating app. So in the dating app, we tick the kind of girlfriend we are looking for, the kind of boyfriend or husband, whatever. He must be so, 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 so. He must come from so, 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 so. And the app comes and gives us a result, and that's how all of life works. So I think was it Romans 5:14 or 13? I used in one of the classes. Until the law, there was no sin. Until the law. So people just did until we got to Exodus, Leviticus. It was what they called sin. The same things they did in Genesis. When they got to Leviticus, it became sin. Why? Because the law had partitioned the brain. The law had said, if you do this, it is evil. If you do this, it is good. Now, but there was a time when it was neutral. The law wasn't there. Now, all human experiences of life, I remember one of the classes we took, being the source of all the problems you are going through. You get to the office, you say the company is a harsh place to work. No, you partitioned your brain in such a way that some activities are inimical to your happiness. The joy, you created it. The pain, you created it. They don't like me. Now, you set the, but it's at the unconscious neurological level. So otherwise, there is nothing they were doing to you. There was really nothing. You are driving on traffic and somebody did like this to you, maybe because your car. This is what he did. Now, in the deeper dimensions of coaching, it's funny. This is what he did, what we call shaking. Then what is the meaning? You gave it a meaning. Otherwise, you're just supposed to be, you are supposed to continue your driving. But you gave it a meaning, and that meaning is only coming from your neurological wiring. Was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? I was talking about the all and we as human beings. So the all we see so bright in the night. But in the night, what we see is darkness. Now, if in the night, certain animals, what they see is light, and what we see is darkness, and the reverse happens during the day for us and them, then it means that the darkness is not out there. It is the way God has wired us, that at this time, it looks light. So, and at another time, it is dark. For another creature, what is the light we see in the daytime is darkness. Now, psychology has come to the conclusion that the eyes does not see what is there. The eye is a projector. You will read it in several books, thousands. The eye is not a camera capturing what is happening out there. What you think is happening in your place of work, and your eyes are your eyes are not capturing it. Your eyes are interpreting how you have programmed yourself. All right, I don't want to go too much into that. I think Michael said last week that we didn't touch how gods relate. So let's delve into the article that on which we are trying to build practicing the awareness of who you are being. So if we go back to giving an A, who wants to come in? Who wants to come in? What are the characteristics of gods? We have done here gods. So you don't have to, if you don't even remember any part of that article, what are the characteristics of being a god? The floor is open.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sonia. Hi, Jiro.
A god is creative, so
A god is creative.
I was reading your book this morning, and I can't remember the chapter now. You're talking about consciousness. So, God is conscious of possibilities. So he speaks, and the world was created from what he said. So, there was this particular bee that intrigued me. That the bee is not supposed to fly, but the bee flies because he doesn't know that he's not supposed to fly. So we have to build that consciousness of possibilities, because what we experience is as a result of the consciousness that we have built. If you build a consciousness that 50% of youth in Nigeria are not employed, so that's why I'm unemployed, for instance, it's what you are going to experience, because that's the reality that you have created for yourself. So as gods, we are creators, and we create with our own mindsets and that we've built as our consciousness into us. So that's what begins to affect the things that we see, and that's what begins to bring the results that we see. So that's what I can say for now.
Okay.
I remember something else.
Thank you very much, Ejiro. So Ejiro was quoting Mary Kay Ash, which I quoted in Realizing Mental Resilience. So in Mary Kay Ash, Mary Kay Ash is one of the most successful women entrepreneurs in the United States, worth billions of dollars. In her own autobiography, she said, many times we hold ourselves back. He said, we learn from childhood all the things that we cannot achieve. And the process of unlearning them can be a Herculean task. He says, so if you look at the construction of the bumblebee, if you aerodynamically, all the laws of physics that we know, sometimes knowledge has its own limitations. Sometimes it's the one causing us problems. And not sometimes, all the times. Now, he said aerodynamically, the bumblebee cannot fly. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the wing, the way we've expected a wing to lift the aeroplane to be lifted up. The bumblebee bee doesn't have any of those characters. Say, but it flies. See, you know why? It is not aware that we humans says it will not fly. So many times when we have built a lot of consciousness of sin, consciousness of this, consciousness of what we cannot achieve. I think Pastor Koju ran a series once on neural pathways, deep highways of the mind that we have built from childhood, what we cannot become, things that are not available to us. So when later on in life, you are walking in a deep, a predetermined highway, but you don't know what that experience is coming from. There are neural pathways in my brain, things that I grew up with. We'll go into some of that. One of the things that Ejiro said again, gods invent, they are creative. So we can't blame, I mean, I've done one of these, the most impactful of Steve Chandler's seminars that I know, or audio tapes that I've listened to, is owner-victim mentality. The victim believes that life is happening to him. Life is happening. Company is happening to him. The economy is happening to him. Oh, can't you see why I'm stressed up? Everything is happening. But the owner believes that I am creating my experience of life. The day it hits you, it's heaven and hell. I am creating my experience. Janice was talking, she says, sometimes she gets caught in being angry with somebody in the office. Then she looks at it again. So once we are talking today, is practicing the awareness. Where is this anger coming from? So I'm feeling that this manager should not have said this. Okay, but he are gods. He too is a god. He too is a god. So when we're looking at the subject today, giving everybody an A. So what have we given? What have we given the person that is causing us pain, the person that we are criticizing? The article says that the measurements we give to people, it is stacked against our own measurement. Now, if Queen is a god or goddess and I'm a god, what right do I have to stack her behavior against my own? Harold, your hand is up. The floor is yours. I don't know. Was it okay?
Yeah, no, it's not. Let me admit myself. You see, when I was in university, there was one book I read by Paul Tuchel. It's called "In My Soul I'm Free," and the article, the introduction says, "Man is a god clothed in rags." I still remember that quotation because we debated on. He's a master of universe, going about looking for a crust of bread, but he could be free, for none holds him but himself. Ah, it was quite challenging, because I know Jesus said, "Ye are gods." No, you know that ye are gods and sons of the Most High. No, so from the Bible says we are created in the image and likeness of God, which is really true. Human beings, we are created in the image and likeness of God. That is, we have the capacity, to produce those things, but we have so many limitations, that is making us forgetting that realization. I think there was a time when I was looking for something. I was looking for the thing, and I had money. I mean, well, I didn't know where it was, and I went to buy something. Not until the last video, I said, just check that you're in a coat pocket. And then I saw that thing, So that is the realization we forgot, because of the cares and the challenges of life, we forget who we are. So it is realization. If like what executive reinventiveness, which Tracy Goss is talking about, is how do you reinvent yourself? How do you come to the realization that you are God, and how do you manifest it? It's quite a challenge, honestly. And that's why I really like this article that I talk about how to, the cost of being of comfort is very, very high.
You said it's because of the challenges of life. Mm-hmm. Can you interrogate that conclusion? Is it these challenges of life that has made us to that has brought us to where we are?
Yeah, the overwhelmingness of the things that are just
Reflect.
because for you, okay.
Is it the challenges of life, or you created the challenges of life?
No, it's not with that creating. It's what we meet now. The challenge, the things that are overwhelming you now. You want your daily chores. You want to feed. You want to clothe yourself. You want to transport yourself. The things that you need to do to make life. I mean, yeah, like yesterday.
So you have just said you are not a God. I just said you are not a God.
No, what I'm saying that in order for you to realize, see, there's what they call self-awareness and self-realization. How do you get to that point where you begin to realize that yourself? Where am I? What are my purpose? What am I doing this? Or what am I? Before you come, there's what called self-realization, and self-actualization.
Through the challenges of life,
for you to get to that point where you start
down,
asking questions.
Sorry, should these challenges of life weigh a God down?
Oh, no, it shouldn't now. That is where, when you come to realize that you are God, that is when you now think of possibilities and
who created these challenges of life?
You are born into it now. You are born into it. Your environment, you are born into.
I will leave the question open because while I was questioning you, Michael's hand. So it's always for all of us in the class. I want us to be pondering on it. So who created the challenges that we are going through? So I'll come back to you. So let me hear. I know Michael's hand was up before.
Coach, what I wanted to talk about. Let me just finish what I want to talk about is the realization, that to transcend these challenges into that point, and it comes through one self prayers and meditation. For you to actually tap into the infinite potential that God has given to you, you need to tap into it, and it's through meditation and prayer. But that is the things we don't really have time to pray, to reflect and meditate on who we are and what God is, and listen to that inner, the voice behind the Bible. So you hear the voice behind telling you this is the way to go, walk in it. That breakthrough to remove all the filters and let the voice speak to you. That is where the thing is, how to get out of all these things and then tap into that infinite potential and then do that which you need to do to get out of it. Just like Gideon and some.
Hello? Hello, if you can hear me, please. Okay. Hello, Harold.
Yes, go on, Coach. Okay. I'll come back. Let Michael say something then.
Okay. Michael, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. I don't really want to say much, but I want to, let me use the language, supplement, although in a little way it's a subtle challenge to one or two statements that Harold made. He said that we have forgotten the realization, something like that, of who we are. I differ there. I would rather put it this way. Many of us, most of us, have never realized who we are. We have never come to that consciousness. And part of what I see this class doing is bringing about that consciousness. Now, you asked him a question. Is it the challenges of life that made you forget? And the thing is, it's not the challenges of life that have made us forget. And indeed, the challenges of life cannot weigh down a God. It is the fact that we were not born into that consciousness, which no child can be anyway, because no newborn even has a consciousness. We were not raised in that consciousness for whatever reason, whether it's because of control of the human mind, or it's because, like we will say, if you give an 8-year-old a car to drive, or a 7-year-old, or perhaps even a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, you are simply giving the person a tool to kill his or herself, because he or she doesn't quite have the maturity to handle that, what should be a useful thing, properly. So maybe that is why early conditioning does not expose us to many of these things. Many of us come to a realization of it in adulthood, and a lot of times, many never even come to the realization. Thank God for this class. I'm sure as we go along, we will come to that full awareness. Now, I would liken it to this. For those of you who had early education maybe in the third world, like in Nigeria, and have had maybe a continuation of that education in the West, you will notice a difference. When I say education, I mean formal education. Formal education in the West, from the early stages, is targeted or is oriented at stimulating the thinking faculties of children. And as they progress through the educational system and come to grips with research and all of that, that stimulation of thinking faculty is sustained. Why? It is targeted at bringing out the creativity elements in the human being, which leads to societal progress. But formal education in the third world, maybe until the last 10, 15, 20 years when private schools really became strong. But even with the private schools, it still remains largely so. Formal education in the third world is oriented at memorizing and reproducing essentially the knowledge that others have brought forth. So there's a significant difference. The difference being that the guy who goes to school here in the third world really just most times knows how to remember something that somebody else has researched or known, right? And maybe sometimes apply it a little bit. But out there, the guy who goes to school out there is taught to think, right? So he questions situations, he questions things, and in the process gains insights that leads to advancement, right? So the point I'm trying to bring out here is that the consciousness of who we are as gods, by reason of our early programming, is not even allowed to comfort. It is later when we start to maybe have challenges and or out of curiosity, why are things like this, and we start to read and learn, that we start to realize that, hey, I'm not quite what I've been made to think I am. I am more than I have been made to think I am. Let me stop here for now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michael. Janice, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to respond to what Mr. Harrod said when he says the challenges of life. Like Michael rightly said, a lot of us were not aware. A lot of people are not aware. And a lot of people will live their life without being aware that they are gods. So that is what this class has done for us. This class has taught us that we are gods. This class has taught us that we can give ourselves an A. This class has taught us that we determine the possibilities in our life. And being aware of that should not begin to make us to act from that point. That's why, because we have been part of this class, we differ. That's why we need to differ where we are, because now we are aware. The things that we call challenges of life, we are the one that name them the challenges of life. You are the one. Every day as I participate in this class, I just see that there is no height I cannot achieve. And it's not just knowing it, I've put it into practice. I talked a while ago in this group of how I applied for a job and I didn't get the job but I was so happy. It brought a realization to me. I limited myself. I looked at my profession and I looked at examined myself and I said, oh, I've come to the ceiling of my profession. Oh, so many of my mates are not even here. I'm here. What more? How can I get paid more when I'm already being paid one of the highest in the industry? And I limited myself. And attending this class made me leap and say, no, you are limiting yourself. Go and do something. And I acted on it. Even though I did not get what I wanted, the fact that I acted on it, it expanded my horizon. And I said, oh, this is possible. And that propelled me to continue to act on it. And I got even much more than I wanted. I'm starting a new job in 2 weeks. Every day I wake up in the morning, the first thing that comes to my mind is, thank you, Lord. And haven't gotten this job, haven't practiced it. One thing with practice, when you practice what you learn, it gives you confidence to practice it more. I was speaking to Mr. Tunde. I said, if you talked to me 12 months ago, I would have thought that I will never be where I am right now. I said, but I've just realized that I'm even limiting myself. This is just the beginning. And I was telling him that I said, this is just a stepping stone. Now I can see myself as a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I can now see myself that I can be anything I want to be. It's all, I just need to ask myself, what do I want? And unless I don't want it, unless I just want to do a simple job, that's fine. It is me that will determine what I want. There is nothing out there limiting me. There is no challenge out there limiting me. I can do anything. And as I begin to practice, I begin to see doors. I've like the last week we said, we give ourselves, that we should learn to give people A. Also, we give ourselves C. Since I started practicing it, I am seeing the people. Just 2 weeks ago, somebody that is the chief of heading the whole of West Yorkshire said, oh, send me an email, say, I've heard so much about you. We need to have a meeting. I want to hear your ideas. And I begin to see, I can't even keep up with the email of people contacting me and wanting us to speak. And I'm wondering, I said, I used to feel that I'm just little me in my cocoon. But because I have taken out those filters, like a book I was reading, it said you attract what you think you can. If you limit yourself, if you feel that it's only toxic people that come to you, it is toxic people. But just because I've taken off that limit, I've told myself I can be whatever I can be. I can even speak to Trump. Trump can ask me to come. There is nothing in it. There's nothing special about it. I can be anything I want to be. And because I'm acting from that, it's attracting a lot of opportunities to me. So those life challenges, we are the ones that see it. You are the ones looking at it that these are life challenges. Give yourself an A. Know that, don't just know it that we've been taught. You need to believe it. You need to go beyond understanding that ye are gods. You need to actually know that you are gods. And by the time you enter that space of knowing, you have been, that is where we are calling that being. Be, do, have. Until you become it, you begin to do it, you cannot have it. Let me stop here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janice. Thank you so much. Daniel Itwa, the floor is yours.
Yes, thanks, Coach. Good morning, class. Everybody. Good morning. I'm not very regular because this time clashes with my family prayer on Saturday. But today, let me just breeze in, and I could breathe at any moment. I actually want to learn, and I've been learning. Yes, we said from this class, we are now beginning to see that nobody is wrong. You just see that maybe you are not seeing it the way they are. You're not seeing from their own perspective, from their own lens. I want to know, is that in relationship one with another? Or does it cut across? Let me explain what I mean. will you say the kidnappers, the terrorists, the Boko Haram, will you say they are right? Or will you say, I mean, like now as a nation, we're saying, no, these people are bad. They should be, in fact, if we can get them, can execute them, can kill them, we are seeing them as bad. Are we not saying no, the country is wrong, that they're actually good people? So when you say nobody can be wrong, nobody can be bad, is it in relation to one another or is general? That's my question.
Okay. So I'm not here to answer anybody's question. So you're asking the question to the whole class. So I know you were not here last week. What we were talking about, giving people an A. An A is a world of possibility. An A is not a standard of measurement. Okay. So last Saturday, in the world of measurement, you should mark people's grades, because we agreed, the example I gave last week, so we agreed that there is a ladder with 27 rungs, and if you climb up to 3 and you can't climb again, we give you 3/27. If you climb up to 10, you can't climb further, we give you 10/27. Now, it is called the world of measurement. Now, that world of measurement doesn't decide whether you are a man or woman. Let me use this thing. So the decision whether you are a man or woman, it's outside of the world of measurement. Now, when you give people an A, it is not in the world of measurement. They are just like gods, like you. Now, the world of measurement is different from now. So in the world, so what do we do? So we just see somebody doing something, but the person is, now I want us, because it is 8 o'clock already, and we are still not dealt into the subject that I know one of the key person who said we needed to look at, how gods relate. Now, I am speaking you against me, but how you have decided to create your life, it's not my business. Okay. It's not of me. So for me to see you and you against me, I am measuring you based on me. Now, that is the world of possibility. You need to remove that judgment. Now, if I want to create myself very small, but let me see something that I thought I would read out. I don't know which page this is. Now, this is the article that we all have that I shared a week ago, that we used last week, World of Measurement. A Taiwanese student, all of them, after Benjamin Zander has said, look, all of you are A students, all of you are getting an A, but write me and tell me how you got an A. This Taiwanese guy kept thinking, because it didn't look, you know what neural pathways are in our brain. And it's in me that is 6, I usually carry 68 in Taiwan. When did I come to A? He thought about it and thought about it. One day, this is the guy, the Taiwanese guy, I'm reading from the article. One day I discovered much happier A than number 68. So I decided that I am an A. In a brilliant flash, it hit upon the secret of life. Now, it is that part B that caught me early hours of this morning. In a brilliant flash, he had caught the secret of life. Now, sometimes you keep teaching people what the person who is analyzing what you are teaching cannot even understand what you are teaching, because you are coming from a place of being. So it looks esoteric and impossible. So sometimes when I read a book and my being changes, it goes up a little notch. When I read it a second time, I see something I didn't see the first time, because the person reading it the second time is not the person who read it the first time. I have changed. What is it? He had hit upon the secret of life. He had realized that it's all invented. It's all a game. The number 68 is invented, and the number A is invented. So we might as well choose to invent something that brightens our life and the lives of the people around us. Now, so when you create yourself small, there is a quote that Harold gave when he started talking, and I really would like if you can post it on the group. The quote that he said he learned when he was in Unilag 30 years ago or whatever. Now, we have forgotten who we are. Now, when you feel that the life you are living is invented, the limitation is invented by you, the choices are invented by you. But if you don't change who you are being, you will keep getting these results. Now, so we're not dealing with the word of measurement, but there's a part of your question that I don't know. I know you want to go to your family meeting. There is a part B that is not yet answered. The question of right or wrong, whether Boko Haram or Haram Boko. And I want to let Michael talk before we get there. Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning again, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm going to try to answer Daniel's question. Anybody can add to what I say or challenge. Your question was people like the Boko Harams. Let me generalize it by saying those who do evil. Are we saying they are not wrong? They are wrong. First of all, when we talk about right or wrong in the context of this being we're studying, let me use that word, we're actually talking about personal effectiveness, personal dynamics. Now, group effectiveness and group dynamics are slightly different. How so? In a group of people, usually for effective interaction, there will be, if you like, ground rules or a set of rules. Those set of rules are usually drawn up, likely by members of the group who have an idea of what the group is intended to achieve. Now, if you extrapolate that to larger society lives by a set of rules or what we call laws, right? And these laws have been drawn up by people who, there's a language used to describe a certain category of people, cognoscenti. The cognoscenti are those who are more aware, right? So usually in a society, the cognoscenti will come and set the direction for that society, given whatever is their overall objective. Now, what makes them more aware? Either they have a deeper insight into life, they have studied more, or they have a clearer vision of where that society wants to go. So in the committee of humanity, countries, nations, societies live by sets of laws. And those sets of laws include do not harm another person, at least deliberately. Why does that law exist? Let us even put the Christian text aside. We are all human beings. We are all part of a universal spirit. That universal spirit funnels up to what we call God, whatever you want to call him in any religion, right? And part of the rules of divinity is that one part of that spirit should not harm another part, because harm by one part to another part is actually a harm to the whole. So people have realized this long before we were born, centuries, maybe thousands of years ago. And over the ages, these things have become coded into laws, right? So they were not pulled out of the blues, they're pulled out of realization of the divine order, and they are made into rules, right? A lot of laws in many countries, if you trace their origins, you can relate it to any of the holy books around the world, whether the Hindu holy book, the Buddhist holy book, Islam, Christianity, whatever. So, to come back to your question precisely, in group dynamics, those people are wrong. There is no two ways about that. But we are talking about personal dynamics in this class and how to be better at personal dynamics. Now, let me tie the personal to the group. It is Janice, when she was talking. By the way, Madam Janice, I must commend you. I found that what you said this morning very inspiring. it should open our minds to what we can be if we choose to be, right? Now, in the realm of the spiritual, trying to connect personal to group now, like attracts like. In the realm of the physical, like attracts unlike. That's why in physics they say opposites attract. Positives are be similar repels. In the realm of the spiritual, the opposite is the case. Light will not attract darkness. Good will not attract evil. Good attracts good. Positive attracts positive. That is why when you want good things to come to you, right, you must learn to be good and stay good and practice thinking good and being good, right? So if we stay on the path of, let me use the word or the phrase, positive thinking, positive action, positive disposition, that is what we are going to attract to ourselves, right? For those who stay on the path of the negative, that is what they are going to attract to themselves. But the reality of life is that both polarities exist, right? And in any sane society, it has been written into rules that we don't want the negatives. So if you do this, you'll be punished. If you do that, you'll be punished. If you do that, you'll be punished. But it doesn't stop people from doing it. That's why the Boko Harams exist. It's not that in absolute terms we will say they are good. No. Let me stop here.
Okay, there's no hand up, so let me offer my own comments too. So we live in a universe of possibility. I've always said, sometimes that the ability to commit murder, as I'm sitting here, that ability is in me. I have not chosen to use it. The power of choice is inside me. The ability to steal, to do anything is inside me. Now, so as gods, we create our worlds. And when Michael talks about group dynamics, so a little bit we are delving into how gods relate now. So gods have come out with their own rules to coexist. As gods, we have come up with our own rules to coexist, to build our own boundaries. In those places, so that is the only place law comes in. There is only one problem in the world. That problem is called interpersonal relationships. How to deal with other gods. Where does my boundary stop as a god to create my own world? Now, I can't remember whether it was Steve Hardison or Chandler who said that the murderer wasn't trying to murder, but the only way the murderer saw the way the mother thought he's defending his right as a god, but the only way he felt he could defend it is to kill another person. Now, but the laws we have, the agreements as gods is that, look, you should not create your own world, live in it. Don't. So in the world of stacking people, what causes interpersonal relationship difficulties? I am stacking you against my own beliefs. I have not given you an A. I'm not letting you invent who you want to be. So I am trying, why is my child not like Harold's child? So it's a pressure I'm putting on myself. It has nothing to do with, it's me giving myself that wahala. Why am I not driving the kind of car that Harold is driving? It's me putting myself in that wahala. Now, if I want, do I want to stay in this thing? Now, it's up to me. Now, going into one of the things we've touched on, going into some of the comments that, oh, some of us were not really aware of our divinity from birth. Nobody was aware. Nobody. Nobody in the world was born aware of their divinity. I said in one class, this is ICF, which I belong to, International Coaching Federation. The average age when people seek a coach is 45. Because you just grew up, and I was saying in that class, as you are going up in age, when you see people who pay $200,000 for coaching, you just see that, man, 3 marriages gone. what is this one work not doing? This one, you are coming to really engage with life now. But the guy who wrote the forward, I've forgotten what the name of the lady, in Realizing Mental Resilience, he said, she did this, she failed. She did this, she failed. The only thing that she thought she was working in her life one time was the person she was going to get married to. So when that one ended up in disaster, he said, do you know what? So one day she sat down. In all these 10 failures of life I am referring to, only one person is constant. He said, that is me. She wrote a book, Expectation Hangover. Now, the only way out is to look inward. What we're dealing, so this class of being is looking inward. I said to somebody, I think 2-3 weeks ago, the realization of being will do you 1,000,000 times better than a PhD. That if you don't realize, if you have not invented yourself properly, education means nothing. Zero. It means nothing. So when people sometimes say, I will not go to school and a billionaire. Yes. Who you invented yourself to be is different from an academic qualification. I'll stop here for now. Janice's hand is up. Janice, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to dive into this Boko Haram thing and relate it to what we're doing. Sometimes you watch all these things that are happening and you ask yourself, why the people don't fight back? Again, I'm not saying I'm going to do it because from my own interpretation, I might likely not retaliate. But if you bring it back to this being, it's because they feel that it is wrong to kill these people back. The day that these people tell themselves that it is not wrong to kill them back, they will resist and fight these people. Come to think about it, yes, they show it on the TV, there are many, they are carrying this and that. But I was watching another video yesterday about, in the Southeast, about somebody that is calling himself General now, and they were showing pictures of Fulani herdsmen that they murdered. And they are saying that we are ready for them, let them come here. It's because their own interpretation, they haven't seen that retaliating and defending themselves, there's nothing wrong in it. That is why they are able to act from that place to defend themselves and say, instead of me to sit down there, allow somebody kill me, that some people are advocating amnesty for, I'd rather kill them so that somebody can advocate amnesty for me. Again, it's also interpretation. Because there are people that somebody is trying to hurt you. If you feel that hurting them back is wrong, there is no how you can hurt them. Even though if you have a gun beside you, somebody is coming with a knife, want to stab you, people will sit down there and stay there and they will be stabbed to death because they feel that it is wrong for me to use that gun and shoot that person. Go to America, you enter somebody's property, he can gun you down. Why? It is their belief, that is their interpretation. It's my right to defend myself. Don't come into my property. You come in, I'm going to gun you. You dare it, come into their property, they gun you down. They don't see it as wrong. It is their interpretation. They are defending themselves. So it still goes back there because those Fulani, have you gone into their head? It is their own interpretation. If they are interpreting to say that I am a jihadist or whatever way they are coming from, if they are saying that Allah says that anybody that talks wrong about them, kill the person. To them, they are not doing anything wrong. It is their own interpretation. It all comes back to interpretation. Like Mr. Tunde said, the choice is yours. And how do you take those choices? You make your choices based on the interpretations that you give. If you have in you to be able to commit murder, but you choose not to commit murder, it's because you have interpreted that committing murder, it's not good. So again, it's not because those people feel that we are bad, we're going to do it.
in their subconscious, what they are doing is right. So it's still based on their interpretation. I beg to stop here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Harold, the floor is yours.
Okay, so two things. Number one, Vic is asking Janice a question. So maybe Janice should on the chat. Yeah, okay. I posted that quote on the chat, but before that quote, I saw Vic. Vic is saying, "I want to have Janice confidence. I will be fully liberated." So, Janice, you need to give us the secret of your confidence. You know, very, very important. Meanwhile, Vic that is asking that question, Vic is a superstar. You know, Dr. Vic is a superstar. Don't joke with her. You know, so her level of confidence is above average. So it means that Janice, your own is super above. So your own is an A star. So you need to let us know the secret of your confidence. Then the second one is this about this Boko Haram. You know, you see, we are not practicing a federation. If you practice a federation and you have your state policing, I think all those things will stop, because every state will want to. They will make question of Enugu State. They have CCTV in every area, you know, because they have executive votes and they have CCTV. And with that CCTV, with the technology, this we are using phone and all, you're able to track them on CCTV. You know, in UK here, somebody committed something here, before 10, 20, they will track that person, you know, because CCTVs and all those things there, even if you are driving and all. So all those things, they are not really what, it's just a matter of political awareness, political declaration, you know, is what can solve this thing. It's not a problem. It was this book guarantee was created by leadership, selfishness, and
okay. Let's. Sorry, I'm cutting in Harold, because I'm looking at the time. Yeah. So I don't want to go into. So the realization of being is more an inner life thing than we want to go into judging. There are occasions and room to judge external things. Dr. Vic, I thought you were raising your hands. You've dropped it, eh? Or was it a mistake? I don't know. Okay. So, okay, Dr. Vic, the floor is yours. Your hand is back up.
Yes. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, I raised my hand to ask Janice. You know, she's really inspirational. I've been coming for this seminar, and it's really showing something within myself that most times we limit ourselves. And is that to bring it to our own consciousness? What can we do? Because all these things we think, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's all the filters we have set, or the goals we have set. The limits can be broken. It's all about the practice that the topic was said to us about practice. What do you want to be mastery of? Do you get up every day to practice it? Do you even talk to yourself? Do you bring yourself into that consciousness? And I think Janice has broken the secret code. And I want to learn from her. She's really passing the game. So please, Janice, can you help us? Let
me give a little bit of insight on into. Okay, Janice, you were muted. Let me not speak for you.
Okay, I think Dr. Vic has answered the question when she wrote, it's practice. Now, if you have listened to that Be Do Have, Jim Rowe was talking about a part in our brain, the reptilian, that that does not like change. So it tells us, don't go and do it too. Just you'll do it next time. Now, it is practice. When you want to do it, you're going to be scared. But it just takes you to do it once. When you do it once, you will not find that oh, it's not as bad as I thought. You do it again the second time. You now find out that it's not as bad as I thought. Now, when I want to give you practical examples. Prior to this class starting, I've always been, maybe some of you don't know, I'm Mr. Tunde's younger sister. I have been his student from a child. He trained me in university. I have, growing up, I was tag lazy. I like to, if he's around, I just want to sit down. Mr. Tunde is doing this class now, but he has done it unofficially all his life. As a child, when he came home, I will usually sit under him to listen to him to talk about all the many escapades. Mr. Tunde was the first in our family to travel outside Nigeria. And when he came back, he said something. He said, hey, we there they do Christianity. He said, if you don't go abroad, he said, going abroad is a taste of heaven before you actually enter heaven. That word stuck with me. I said, I'm going to travel around the world. I'm not going to stay here in Nigeria. So I used to sit under him and listen. He's always done this. He will put us together, talk to us. When he was in uni, I was in primary school. Any of his friends, Mr. Itwa just spoke now. Mr. Itwa knows me. They know me as a child. I know Mr. Same Gube. I know any of his friends. I was in primary school when they were in Uniben. I'll always sit there and listen. I'll always listen and listen. So coming to this class, I have been his student for a long, long time. Now, when I wanted to come to the UK, everybody said, don't come to the UK because my business was doing well. My husband was a manager in the bank. And I came to the UK. When he himself came to see me in the UK, he said, Janice, go back home. I told him I'm not going back home. Now, what am I trying to say? It's practice. Practice, practice, practice. I was practicing some of the things he did. But when he did this 12 weeks, it gave me the boldness more to practice. So when my mind tells me, Janice, don't go there. You know, when your child comes and tells you that, Mommy, I want sweet. And you say, no, I'm not giving you sweet. No sweet today. You don't think about it. You just discard it. So that is how, when my mind tells me, Janice, don't go there, I just said, I am going there. There is no discussion. And I go there and I go and do it. 90% of the time, I found out that it's in my head. It's fears. It's fears. I've traveled to so many places now. I've gone to, when I was in university, I made application to the bank and said I wanted to do their Christmas card. Everybody was laughing that they will not even allow you enter the bank. I entered the bank. Society General Bank almost gave me, a child that was in year 1, the contract to do their Christmas card. So even though they did not finally give me, because they finally realized I was a child, I didn't even have any printing. That experience made me know that there is nothing that I cannot do. And now attending this Being class, some of the things that I have done, sometimes I just tell myself, whoa, did you do this? And I have come to find out that it's in our head. Trump is just ordinary person like us. When you start talking to him, you will say, is this Trump? Or you talk to the minister, you will just find out that they are just human beings like us. We are the ones that have placed limitation on ourselves. The possibilities, whatever thing you can achieve in life, it's within your power. You define the possibilities of what is possible in your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janice. Thank you so much. Ajira, I'll come to you. Okay, Michael, you dropped your hand before, or I don't know.
No, I dropped it,
Okay.
but let me just, in a few seconds, just add to what Janice has said in response to Doctor's question. So, Doctor, choose your being. meditate on your being. Harold mentioned meditation when he spoke earlier, and then practice your being. Now, your ultimate being might seem so far away. Let us assume, for example, you want to be MD of Johns Hopkins Medical Center somewhere in the US. It might seem so far away. If it's so far,
hello?
Maybe you choose the one that is not so yourself in that being in your head, and then practice it. That's what I have to say.
Okay. So, Ejiro, like I said, I will come to you. Sorry. Now, so practice, I'll tell you what we have learned in this class. So an average of you is worth over $200,000 per person. But if you don't practice it, if you don't practice, if you don't start observing, today's class is practicing the awareness of who you are being. So all problems are interpersonal relationship. So you get to the office, the person annoying you before you started coming to this guy is still annoying you. Or if the intensity has not reduced, you've not started practicing it. The filters that are working in your head, you are still letting them run you. This is not. Now, if you have gotten to the depth, the reason why coaching goes repetitive, because to close the neural pathways in your brain, it is the most expensive work in the world. Coaching is not counseling, and I keep repeating this. When you hear people say in the US, I spent $1 million on a coach, there's a problem they were trying to fix. And until you fix here, the rest is grammar. The rest is just grammar. So, to comment on Janice practicing again. Now, I personally, why this class? In January, I said, I just put on the club group. If you want to work on yourself, join me for 52 weeks. Now, if it is one person that shows up, if it is 10, if it's 100. Now, the purpose wasn't the attendees. The purpose was me. That maybe, like I said, you learn by talking, that in talking, in preparing, I'll be able to move in some of the things I knew intellectually I didn't move. About a week and a half ago, I bought one audio. You will see it in Audible. It's written by one American pastor. And David perceived that the Lord has made him king. Now, I'm still in chapter 1 of that book. But every time I just wake up in the morning, I say, last week I said, something will just be happening around me. I said, I am perceiving now. I said, being is having some impact on me. I think I'm just perceiving now that the Lord has made me king. The pastor was explaining. He said, David had long been anointed king. Did so many battles, what Harold calls challenges of life. Then he has fought so many things, and he just went to Hebron, even after Saul was there, to go and stay. Then he ruled in Hebron for 2 years. When the children of Israel went to meet him, look, before now you are supposed to be king. He was looking at them. The neural testing has not taken it. Then they built him a house. Then they told him that he should move into the house. Then he moved in. When he moved in, he says sometimes when your identity, this pastor preaches only on identity in the US. You will see the book, and David perceived that he was king. His identity was still holding him. Then one day when the children of Israel came to him and they left, David walked around the palace and he said, the Lord has made me king. He has been king all along. So for some days now, you'll say, the Lord has made me king. Tunde is entering now. So something happened just for those of us that joined the class at the beginning. I said, I'm in Port Harcourt right now. I came in 2 days ago. One surprise thing happened in Lagos. I said, Tunde, go for this thing. He said, why? And I said, all these are just, you are beginning to attract the king that you are. So I was reading The Guardian on Wednesday, at 5 p.m. I was just flipping through the e-copy of The Guardian, and I saw a full page. An oil and gas company in Port Harcourt, Solewand, it's one of the largest pipe coating company in Africa. Full page that they are doing their annual energy conference in Port Harcourt. So I just I just screenshot it and I sent it to the MD. I did a training on resilience for the company in January. So I just sent it to the MD. Oh, I say, man, congratulations. He said, you were not invited. He said, you have to come to Port Harcourt. I didn't reply him. I said, nah, nothing is taking me to Port Harcourt. Around 10 p.m., 8 p.m., I now replied him and said, Mr. Solomon, let's leave this one. It's too late. Another time, I can't leave for Port Harcourt tomorrow morning. 10 p.m., Dr. Ben, one of his general managers, Dr. Ben now called me. Oga said, anything, you must be in Port Harcourt tomorrow. I was quiet. And I said, come back to me on the flights available for me, and I will think about it. 30 minutes later, he came out. He sent 2 flights. United Nigeria, 7:30. Air Peace, 10:30. He said, I'm just knowing, I will go. I will miss all the morning preliminaries. I will join in the afternoon from around 1. I said, put me on the book, I say Air Peace, Arik. Book Arik for me, 10:30. And I went to sleep. This is 11 p.m. that we're having this conversation. I said, man, when I lay on the bed, don't worry, they will just be calling you. I was moving. The Lord, you are just realizing it now. Now, that is what I'm trying to just give my own version of what Janice is experiencing. So I got to sleep. I woke up around 4 a.m. Very strange. I was still turning on the bed from 4 a.m. For 1 hour. I refused to get up. I'll be 10:30. This Port Harcourt are not planned, but well, the Lord has made you king. They will just be calling you. They will be sending you tickets all over the world. 2 days previous, the previous week, I think I mentioned it last week, a woman had just come to meet me. She said, I met Sam in Alausa and I'm talking about our conference in Doha, Qatar on resilience. And Sam said, is Tunde one of the speakers? They go and meet Tunde. If you are doing a conference on resilience in Doha, Tunde is not there. Then the speakers are not complete. So finally, by 5 a.m., I got up from the bed. I just looked at my time, 5 a.m., I got up. As soon as I picked my phone to check what the Arik ticket, I saw Aero Contractor, 7 a.m. This is 5:01. I just said, no. This morning, they are going to get refund, business class ticket to Port Harcourt. I said 2 hours from now, I've left. It means I walked around the room. Then I just said, I am going. Immediately, I said, no, my driver won't resume until 6 a.m. That which means I'll be late. I just booked a boat. I entered the bedroom, came back, the boat had been calling. I said, I just called all charges for your waiting. I will pay. So just relax, don't bother. Then finally made it to the airport and I came to Port Harcourt. But I still was wondering, just go and attend conference and you listening to panelists. I'm not featuring. I said, just go. They are the one paying all the expenses, hotel, everything. There was a convoy with police, military to pick me from the airport. When they were taking me to Element, I said, wow, the Lord has made me king. I went. Yesterday, I woke up. I was there for yesterday. I woke up yesterday 6 a.m. in the morning. And I said, okay, the vehicle, the security escort that will come and pick me there, they won't come till 7 a.m. I just picked my phone. Dr. Ben said, Mr. Solomon says that Reuben Abati is anchoring the future of energy in Nigeria. And you are on the panel. The first thing that my default wanted to call me, Omo, you don't work in the energy sector. Then I said, who am I being? I said, what is it to talk about in the energy sector that I cannot talk about? And I said, God is opening doors for you. I said, Reuben Abati, popularized, is the anchor, is flying in from Lagos. I just accepted it. I got in yesterday. I kept looking, before they introduced us to the stage, I was looking at myself. You are looking inward. Who am I being with this thought? I will eliminate the thought. Who am I being with this one? I will eliminate the thought. They called us. Maybe before the end of the day today, I'll put the video live on Arise News. Live transmission. I didn't even know it was live. Got to my hotel in Port Harcourt. At the reception, they said, we've been watching you on. I looked at one of the, was that program live? They said, when you and Ruben Abati were arguing, it was live on Arise TV. And I went to look at it. Even me, I didn't believe myself. But I kept saying, the Lord has made me, it has entered me. I am now perceiving like David that the Lord has made me king. I have played too small. And like Johnny said, this is my own version of Johnny's story. Practicing what we have been learning will come in. Give the awareness, because your default is so strong. If you've read Realizing Mentalism, your default. I remember when Sam was a director with Diamond Bank, he said, if you can just come, he said, when I was sending some CDs too, they send me CDs of only people who know sales. So I will see people who are unemployed, say they cannot do sales. But the bank will give you instant employment. I used to say that if you can do sales, if you enter United States today, you have a job the next day. I said, but people can remain unemployed because the neural system just can't see. I think the article I posted on the group, Steve Atkinson says, it comes by practice. Now, practice calling one person a day, 2 persons a week, 5 people a week. Practice it. See how you deal with yourself when rejections come. Now, all those things, you are creating your world. But the little of being, as I keep asking myself now, look, when Ruben Abati finished introducing me, I finished the first round. An Army Brigadier General was on the panel. A Navy captain was on the panel. We were 4, myself, Ruben Abati, 2 Army generals. And by the time I finished, the crowd didn't know when they started clapping for me. Dr. Ben said, when I came out of this thing, he said, I was feeling for you. Did Mr. Tunde prepare? And MD said he must be on the panel with Ruben Abati. He said, and you took over the stage. I said, in my mind, I said, don't worry. It is who I am. Ejiro, the floor is yours. I wanted to tell my own story of Ejiro, the floor is yours if you are still hearing me. So go ahead. So, Dr. Vic, I don't know, you want more insight on what Janice is saying? I don't know if what I've just said added to it, but I know the answer is not one thing to do. Ejiro, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, sir. That was so congratulations on yeah, now
okay.
Sir, can you hear me?
Your internet is breaking, but go on. Maybe it will.
Hello?
Yeah, okay, go on.
Okay, so still on practicing. I read the article that was posted just once, but in preparing for today's class, I just had this thing of reading mental resilience instead. So I took it up, and the scripture that was used at that page, it's in Proverbs 16:32. A man who let me try to read it. A man, he that is slow in
okay, go ahead again.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. So the ability for you to rule your spirit, to look inward, to take charge of who you are being. Like Marjani said, that thing that tells you that, oh, this thing is impossible, like I can't do it, and you go ahead to do it. That's the practice. Because fear comes with practicing. Fear is what we practice over time. That okay, this is unachievable. For instance, if you're scared of heights or you're scared of the dark, it's something that your mind has practiced over the years and you have come to believe it. So the same way courage and practicing who you are being, who you actually are, has to do with practice. That consciousness of you have to start reforming your mind of who you actually are instead of sticking with the doctrine that you've been built with from when you were a child. So that's what I have to say about
repeat the last sentence.
Okay, I said practicing has to come with reinforming your mind about what you are becoming instead of that doctrine on what you have been from childhood, like what fear has taught you that you can achieve and what you cannot achieve.
Okay. So the default one, if you've read Realizing Mental Resilience, so in it I talked about how our default personality or AI is so strong. It goes faster than before we think we have done what we are used to. Before we think, go for 20 seminars, here 500 preachings on not to hate stuff. As you just see the person, hatred is the first thing. Now, I don't who was okay, I'm reviewing a book now. The lady who is doing a conference in Qatar, so she just released a book on resilience. So she's here to release it to the public. She printed limited copies, 50. She sent me one for review and that will go into the book. She said something. Your knowledge of it, which we have said here, your awareness that your default is running your life won't make it that default. He said, but yeah, the knowledge rather, when you start practicing the awareness, the power it has in you is broken. Now you know. So yesterday morning, my default, I would have just said, Dr. Ben, I'm not going to do. If you would have told me in Port Harcourt, it would have been my own way to escape. They didn't. You would have told me from before I left Lagos, rather. So I just said, Sam, my friend Sam used to say something. Don't shy away from when God wants to bring you to the spotlight. There was a time I appeared. I was to do something. I did something on Channels Television last year. He said, I watched the program and the interview. Man, he says, don't play with anytime they say, he said, you don't know. Thousands are watching the thing and God just wants to bring you into limelight. I just said, wow. First of all, I just said, I didn't know it was live. I just said, but it's a good experience to be interrogated by Ruben Abati. Then my mind said, energy industry should have been something else. Then I said, I'm not going to throw it away. And when I started, even the army generals, the depth of where I went to, all the things they know about security in the Niger Delta, fighting gun battles in the Gulf of Gulf of Guinea, Navy following up bunkers. When I opened my mouth, I said, man, it's even me, I am surprised. I surprised myself. But I said one thing, this is all due to the realization of being, that I am choosing context even before you call me to the stage. I arranged my context yesterday, I'll tell you. When you decide your context, from where you are coming, before I was called up, I had arranged my context. And this is the context. When I first sat on the stage the first time and I looked at the crowd, my left hand, my microphone wanted to start shaking. And I moved it to my right hand. My right hand did not shake. And I held it there. I said, from where you are coming, there's nothing. Shake for what? Talk to them and tell them. I was talking to myself. And when I opened my mouth, Ruben Abati started another hour. Then he just left the army generals. He said, this guy has opened a can of worms. Let's go in further. But you can't take away practicing all the things we are learning. You can't take it away. If you intellectually know it, the reason sometimes I interrogate some things that we now say, because we've been doing this thing for a while. Maybe things I won't interrogate 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago. So I'm hearing, no, Harold has gone past this. The quote he just gave himself about that something in uni when he was in his years in Unilag. I said that quote nullifies this thing he's saying now. Said the challenges of life are created by you. Everything. It is, see, when Adam was created as God, God says, so go and name everything around you. So you named it a challenge. Now, I've referred us in one class to some Harvard article, Beware of Labels, HBR. Now, the label alone can decide what you see. Just how you have decided, you label the thing, it can decide what you are seeing. So, but living in ignorance, you see my own model of the world, all human beings came into this world. I don't know how many of us play this childhood game then you tie the eyes of somebody. Is it catcher they call it now, with a black cloth, and he cannot see. That's how we all came into this world. Our divinity, we're just blinded from our divinity. So from generations after generations, parents will be telling you how to walk. But when you are, the first time you start needing a coach, you are just seeing now that there is something I need to know about my inner walking. It's not about the external environment. And like Howard Vernon wrote in Supermind, he says, a woman will marry an abusive man, end the marriage, remarry again, it's an abusive man, remarry again, it's an abusive man. He said, until the woman realizes that the problem that is bringing only abusive men is inside her. Now, when you start, when in the US, ICF says the average age of going to a coach is 45. As life is dealing with you, now we're seeing, no, I'm not seeing clearly. I'm not seeing clearly. Do this. I can't do this. And this is the fourth time. No. Now you will now say, I need a coach. You will see Hollywood people paying Steve Harrison $200,000 deposit. It's like, with all the money, life is bashing me mentally on all sides. Now a coach starts showing you how you have created who you are and how you have ended up in this place. Until you create the things that brings this result, which when we were doing Frankenstein's updating, you are the one who ticked in the updating of your neural consciousness. I want this, I don't want it, I don't want it. Go back. Mel Robbins says, you see all the men that the app brought, all the women, none of them is good. He said there are 20 million people in the app. Go back to the filters that you use in ticking the man or woman. Oh, I said it must be Yoruba. I say it must be short. I say it must be black. I say it must be this. Now, I don't mind this on tickets. I think this one is limiting on tickets. The same thing with work, the same thing with everything. This is 8:50 and I'm looking at the time, whether to stop or continue. Doing an A and have beings. We're going to continue next class on practicing the awareness of being. I think I still need us, all problems are interpersonal relationships, all, not 99. All pains, all tears, all cries, and how we have created these filters that has put us in this box. I don't want to stretch into one other paragraph in the article. We'll just go on again. Let's see again next Saturday, 7 a.m. Remember, we have about 4 more classes to go. Prepare for the classes and be ready to speak. You have passed listening now. See, make a mistake. In the article, in this same article we are doing tonight, giving an A, something Benjamin Zander said. He said, when you make a mistake, he said, raise up your hand and say, how fascinating. The life as you see it now, you invented it. When last class, I said, over 70% of our lives have been wasted to wrong programming. No economy. You know that you are an American, you know it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean there are poor, there are rich in any economy. Poor, rich everywhere. Your being decides what you get out of life, not the economy. There's something I'm trying to see whether we can do. You know, I'm still chasing this American ladies, Tracy Goss and her group. On the book they said they will release. I'll check again this morning. I've not checked in the last 3 days. But so an idea occurred to me that if we all agree, before the book, let's believe that the book will come out before the end of December. If we all agree, I would send a sample of what I'm thinking of. We can generate that and come out with an e-book. If we can do that in the next 4 weeks, depending on the commitment of all of us individually, and to come up with some of the, I'll give a framework of what I'm talking about. If it's not today, I don't know. I have 1 or 2 things to do before I start going to the airport to go back to Lagos. But I'm going to, if it's not today, tomorrow or latest Monday, a framework of something that we can put together that can give you a quick walk around in your internal world that can help you every day of life in 2026. So the idea is coming to me now, and I believe that if we come together, we can work on something that looks like what Tracy Goss is working on, but the hour will come out. If it comes out before we finish what we're doing, but there is a version, not entirely exactly what they are trying to do, and we are waiting for the release. So, but again, see you same time next week, and thank you for brightening my day. Thank you for always coming to this class. I didn't read most of the chats today. Takeaways. Vic, who are not far from it? Please, I'm not in your family. Okay, well, thanks so much, Janice. Okay, yes, amazing. Oh, okay. I'm sure you all read all. Thank you so much. See you next Saturday, 7 a.m.
Thank you, Coach. This was very fascinating. Thank you very much, Coach. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Huh?
I've come from my family.
I should have come from your family. My next word, I'll come from
part of
there.
the family.
Dr. Vic, you are not in my family. Adopted.
Yes.
You're not part of his family now. You're not part of the B family, yes.
Exactly.
The B family is already in
the B family, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.